of crack cocaine and because of gay men, because mainly gay men had unprotected sex at the time, there were early warning signs against AIDS. And then in 1985, 12,000 people had died from AIDS. And one of the famous people was Rock Hudson. And then by 1987, 40,000 people had died. And in Washington, there was a giant quilt memorial set out that was supposed to, spread awareness about AIDS and how it can affect everyone from every kind of economic or cultural background other than just poor people. And then by the end of the 1980s, almost 100,000 had died. There was Iran-Contra scandal with Oliver North, where he was selling cocaine and then giving the money to fight wars. And then there was the Battle of Grenada, and in June 14th, 1985, a plane from Athens to Greece was hijacked. It was the TWA, and the terrorists were threatening to kill people if prisoners weren't released. And then Reagan actually negotiated with the terrorists for the freedom of passengers. And the Iran-Contra scandal was in 1987. Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev were at a nuclear disarmament and Gorbachev wanted Star Wars destroyed because of the millions and billions and trillions of dollars that he'd put into raising his nuclear arsenal. And then in 1989, Chinese students occupied a major square and wanted democracy. And then actually some of the famous images that I'm sure everyone has seen so far, that's actually a Chinese student standing in front of a tank refusing to yield because he wanted democracy and the government did not. The East and West German Wall was also destroyed. And then John Lennon was assassinated in 1980. Also 1980, Mount St. Helena erupts. Pac-Man was released in 1980. Thriller by Michael Jackson was released in 1982. There was the Beirut bombing of the U.S. Embassy in 1983. 1985, Back to the Future opened. 1986, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Also 1986, the first PC virus known as Brain that goes viral. Oprah Winfrey show gets national syndication. The U.S. bombs Libya. 1987, the first case of DNA evidence used to convict a criminal was established. And in 1989, the World Wide Web was invented. That's my presentation.